part 2, Hindu exiles. How did they recruit these people from India to go and do this work? And nobody seemed to have any knowledge of that. But anyway, it is presented in the scripture. So I'm going to a couple of verses I will point out here. In Revelation 20, verse 11, the Holy Spirit, because this Holy Spirit now is here, is recruiting people to come on this mission. Okay? And the 378 members is presented as sitting on a throne. This is in India. Now in Revelation 20, verse 12, you will have, I could read it. And I saw the dead, the great and the small, standing before the throne. And scrolls were opened, and another scroll was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged by the things which were written in the scrolls, according to their works. Now this thing, I have a dead, like if dead people talking. But listen, you have to be able to identify the metaphors or the entities to understand what they are saying. Now, when they said dead in this, what they meant here now is that those without knowledge. This is a book, they're writing on those without knowledge. This is what the verse is saying. And then the book of life is the book of who has knowledge, right? Other books opened. The other books opened were books presented before, which is called the 4 Vedas and Puranas. That is 5 manuscripts. And the record, what they're referring to in the verse here, a rank or degree of Hindus for exile. So who is educated, they look at your rank or your degree. We did that in the last video. Now, dead were judged, those without knowledge were judged. That is what it means. Now, the Holy Spirit is what doing this thing. Holy Spirit is 378 human beings or members, right? So they are doing this, appointing. Now, if you go to Acts 6:3, they will tell you 7 entities appointed by Holy Spirit. So you get the 7 entities from here. Then you go to Acts 1:8. The Holy Spirit distribute the duties for the entities. And John 15:16 also makes statement of how they did it. Okay? Now if you go to the Ramayana, you go to page 126, verse 7. Hindus ordered to stop Muslims and Christians from eating people. Cannibals were Brahmins in the Ramayana. Page 128, verse 5. Who studied Vedas and Puranas was sent into exile. So this is referred to as an exile. So they call the people that go in on this missionary or this work to construct these buildings or to stop the people from eating people, we call that you're going on exile, Hindu exiles. I will further explain that when we reach to the Jewish part. Now they also have death and Hades. They separate the 2 of them into death and Hades. Revelation 20, verse 13. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and Hades gave up the dead which were in them, and they were judged, each of them according to their works. So what they are doing here, they are judging people according to what they have, what knowledge they have, or what experience or what work can they do, right? So the sea in this context means the books. They're writing that into the books. Now Revelation 20:14, and death and Hades were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second at the lake of fire. So we have a metaphor here that nobody seems to understand, that the number of years this thing has been presented, the lake of fire, the burning in hell, and all this sort of thing. What this means that they're sending them into the desert. The lake of fire is the desert. This is where they're going to do the work. So death, those without knowledge. Hades, those with knowledge. All were judged for exile according to rank. Death and Hades, both groups were recruited for exile. Burning Lake is Lanka. This is the place they refer to, Lanka, and it is 10 cities, and they're constructing 12 buildings. Burning Lake, second death, exile to Lanka. So this is how you have Ram exile in the forest. They refer to as forest too. And so this entities is going to do this construction. All right. Revelation 20, verse 15. And if anyone was not found written in the book of life, he was cast into the lake of fire. Those without knowledge were also sent on exile. They were cast into Lanka. That is the lake of fire, the desert region of Middle East. There is where most of the buildings were constructed. So I'll present some verses here for Hindu exiles' return. They also have the verses for who come returning back. So Ezra, we go to Ezra 1:1. The Holy Spirit issued an order. I wouldn't read the verse. They issued an order. Ezra 1:2-3 also presents Hindu exiles must return to India to construct temples. This is the verses saying that. I would not read it. And Ezra 1:4, I will read it, and maybe you can understand what I'm talking about. And everyone who is left in whatever place he sojourns, let the men of his place support him with silver and with gold and with goods and with cattle, besides the freewill offering for the house of God which is in Jerusalem. So they call in India Jerusalem also. So they are coming back now and to build temples in India. Now what the verse is saying, Hindus of India must assist exiles on their return. So the people living in India must assist these people and them that coming back to India. This is what it is all about. Now, Isaiah 43:5-6, what they're saying, do not fear, because I am with you. I will bring your seed from the east and gather you from the west. I will say to the north, give them up, and to the south, do not keep them back. Bring my sons from afar and my daughters from the end of the earth. In other words, this instruction from the Holy Spirit here is telling to the Hindus that are doing this construction and all this missionary work to return back to India. Now, in this verse, if you pay attention, you will see east, west, north, and south. So every time they use east, west, and north, and south, in Bible and in Ramayana, it means 12 buildings or 12 temples. East is, as I explained, equals to 3 verses each. 3 buildings each. Now, Ezekiel 39:28. And they will know that I am Jehovah their God, because I brought them into captivity among the nations and have gathered them to their own land, meaning bringing them back to their own land. And I will never again leave any of them there. Means you're saying that everybody who come taking care of them in India. Hindus were exiles in foreign lands. They would return to India. Right? Jeremiah 30:3. Yes, indeed. Days are coming, declares Jehovah, when I will return the captivity of my people Israel and Judah, says Jehovah, and I will bring them back to the land which I gave to their fathers, and they will possess it. In this verse is telling you, Hindus given lands to build temples. So you have an idea of the people when they did the construction of this entity, and they send them out to do these buildings and to return back to India. So what they call the exiles returning, and they have that plain in the Bible. All right? So I think I've been very clear there. I don't think I made that statement before.